Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead tarot scope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign, Libra, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Finally, right? I get to give you guys some good news. I know it's been a little bit of a minute for you guys, and it looks like, you know, this week is a lot brighter. Remember, whenever the sun card shows up, especially as the key to the week, what just happened? Wait. Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead tarot scope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. Your key to the week this week is the Sun card. Ultimate heat, light and blessings. But also remember the Sun card, and it's finally good to give you guys some good news. I know it's been a little bit tough on you guys. It's been a real process, right? And it's like, I think probably for Librans more than anybody else, it's been like peaks. It's been like peaks and troughs, right? There's been, unfortunately, no in between, which, you know, is something that you guys tend to like a lot of because you're always doing this, right? But what this suggests to me is this is going to be a much easier week. Remember, when the Sun card shows up, especially as the key to the week, it's giving us a little bit of a reprieve. It's giving us a moment where we can take a moment where we can breathe it out and kind of say, okay, what is next? Where do we go from here? This is also where blessings show up. Remember, the Sun card enhances all of the blessings that we have and it diminishes the challenges that might show up in our lives. So this is a great card for you to have, and it means in some way, shape or form over the course of this week, there is illumination taking place in all of these different sectors of your life. With that said, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi Lasha. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. For your actions and options, you've got the Page of Swords. This is actually a good week to start looking at and thinking about the contracts. It's also a really good week for you to start thinking about getting at least verbal agreements in place. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, hang on a sec, we're in a Mercury retrograde. Mercury will go direct on the 3rd of June. And not only that, with the Page of Swords in your actions and options, you are seeing things clearly at this moment in time, which really, to me, it actually feels like you're stepping into things in a way that really is, it's like you're going into things, even though like you're saying, okay, you know what, maybe there is a Mercury retrograde and maybe we don't have all of the details hammered out, but you know what, I'm going for this anyway. You are walking into something this week with your eyes wide open. So you're prepared and armed with the knowledge that you need already, which suggests that actually it's going to be relatively smooth sailing from here. But there is some form of correspondence that's coming up this week that could be quite important to you. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Four of Cups. Underneath the Sun card, this is, through a conversation, some moment of clarity or realization this week. So maybe you are talking to somebody about what has been a challenge to you, and this is a really good week to do that. Like if you've had a challenge with something where things have been difficult about you, where things have been difficult for you, this is a good week to talk about them. And you know, you tend to be quite a human sign anyway. Like I like Librans, like you can just, you know, they're good people, you always get good vibes. But what I am getting from this is that by talking about a vulnerability of yours or something that you found challenging, things can really improve for you. So this could be great. When it comes to your those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, you're turning a corner this week, and it's likely to be, it doesn't have to, I don't think it will be like a professor or someone, it's likely to be a friend, a peer, or a colleague that is going to make something crystal clear to you. So it's like through, maybe you're saying to somebody, oh, you know what, I found this assignment really hard, or I'm really struggling with writing this essay, and then somebody says something to you through the course of that conversation that it's like it's a light bulb moment, and you say, okay, now that I've got that understanding, I actually know where I'm going from here. It's like you find your footing this week with your studies. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, this could be a week where this is like where you're in the trenches with it. Okay, so what I like about this, like, and humor me here, let's say you go out with the work lot and you get drunk, and then the next day you come in and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm useless today, I'm suffering, I'm really under it, really I'm really feeling the and the groggy. Find somebody that is in that with you. This is about getting in the trenches and experiencing all of the good stuff, absolutely. Like, you could be bonding with someone in a way that is kind of like you're sharing a challenge. And so it builds that kind of camaraderie, which is nice. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, one way that this might show up for you, if you have your own business or you work for yourself, I almost get the sense here that it's either you're stumbling on something, or you're having a realization, and you're kind of like, just like this, you're laughing to yourself because you're like, oh, I never knew that. You know, like when something clicks to you and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I never asked somebody else this, because it would have made me seem like really dense. And it's not that at all. It's just you're having a realization that's funny to you because it's never occurred to you before, but it is actually really relevant or pertinent to what you're working on or what you're trying to release at this moment in time. Can we please normalize not always having an answer for everything? This comes from me as well. Like, I'm really trying to get into this space of just understanding that actually, you know what, not even get into the space, like I'm fully aware of this. And I say to everybody, take my readings with a pinch of salt, takes what works for you and resonates and leave the rest. If I was the fountain of all knowledge or the Oracle of Delphi, I'd be a lot wealthier at this point. But yeah, for those of you that are retired and no longer working, this week, spontaneous travel, especially if it's an invite. If someone says, oh, you know what, let's just jump in the car and go to the coast for the day, or something that just off the whim, don't think too much about it, just go with it, whatever the invite is. For your love and relations, you've got the Ace of Cups. Very nice, very, very nice. So you've got this with the Sun card. So for those of you that are partnered, married, and in long-term commitments and looking to start a family, this is a very nice energy for that. The Ace of Cups with the Sun card, that's beautiful. It's also a loving, supportive energy. So you've got this with that Four of Cups, and I almost want to say, for those of you that are single, it's likely that there's going to be more than one option this week, and don't feel bad about going for or after the person that actually feels like the right one for you. With that Page of Swords, it looks like you're deliberating over this. Shocker for a Libran. But what this suggests to me is that you are, it's like you're really trying to look at the options of the people in front of you or the people that you're potentially dating and say, okay, who is the person, yes, this person could be fun and wonderful, but actually, is this going to be somebody that I can build something long term with? It's like you're choosing with your heart space this week rather than with your head, and that's great. For your money and materials, you've got the Five of Cups. Okay, so not the easiest of cards. What I'm going to say with the when the Five of Cups shows up for money and materials, it usually means an unexpected expense of some sort. But what do we see here? You've got the Sun card, so it's not going to be that bad. In fact, this may even be something that you end up being able to turn to your favor. So let's say just a really stupid, simple example, you order something from the internet and you're like, oh my gosh, it's the wrong color, I didn't want this one. And then when you try it on, actually, this suits me perfectly and it looks absolutely brilliant. That's one way that this could show up. With the Sun card here and the Five of Cups, this could also be money that you didn't expect to have to spend on an item so soon. So something that you had planned on replacing, but it's like it comes up sooner rather than later, and so you're doing it now. When it comes to, because we're still in that retrograde energy, this is a time to shop around, right? Mercury retrograde is a really good time to get a deal, to get a bargain, you know, something that's been upcycled, something that's secondhand. You can do really well on that stuff, not so great on something that's brand new. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Five of Cups is your reproductive system, so watch out for that. With the cards that are present, because there's quite a lot of water here, I would say this would be a week where it may potentially be, you know, the waterworks. And then when it comes to your home and environment, for some of you, especially through that Four of Cups, this could be a conversation about something that you are no longer willing or wanting to have in the home. This might be that for some of you, maybe a change of environment, maybe for some of you a change of home, but for a lot of you, I feel like this is something that you're ready to release out of the home this week. So you're, you know, you could be letting something go, or potentially you could be donating something. You know, that could be a good way to use that energy as well. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.